What is up, everybody, to a new YouTube video. Today we're going to be watching the worst punishments that are still used today. Credit, my editor will put credit, but credit to going to good enough. Let's get into it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And also make sure to like and subscribe only if you like my videos, because if you guys don't like my videos, what's the point of subscribing? Let's get into it.
Bad and slowly work our way towards the stuff of nightmares. Number 8, the wooden cane. Many countries today still punish criminals by tying them up and whipping them. But just to make matters worse,
That's normal. Well, okay. Oh, wait. That's not normal, but it was normal back in the day. Oh yeah, look. It's Mike Wazowski as a son.
it's often done in front of their peers and loved ones. In
Back then it used to be, but it's still done now?
countries like Singapore, criminals convicted of violent crimes or vandalism can still be sentenced to judicial caning. Here, the criminal is bent over and has their ankles and wrists tightly strapped to a large wooden trestle. Before the criminal
I wouldn't want to do that.
becomes a piñata, the cane is first soaked in water for a few hours, making it
That's gonna
a lot more flexible and
yeah, because if you put wood into water and then it like you wait for a couple hours, it's gonna become more bendy. So you could go like, let's say this was the stick, and let's say this was the wavy part. You could go like that.
timed for whipping. The man who carries out the punishment is a highly trained officer, trained to deliver each strike with maximum force and precision. After
Oh,
each
that
strike,
hurts.
there's a long pause, just to make sure the criminal feels every bit of pain that is humanly possible before the next powerful strike is delivered. The severity of the crime dictates how many strikes the criminal receives, but it can be as many as 24. Criminals are typically left bleeding with deep wounds and permanent scarring, leaving them with a lifelong
Have you seen that's bad? I can't wait to see the next one, bro.
reminder of the hellish punishment they once received. Number 7, the White Room. There's a room so terrifying that it strikes fear into even the most
Chill, Pikachu, bro.
hardened criminals. It's simply known as the White Room. Inside Evin prison in Iran, there's a small, all-white isolation cell where the bright overhead lights never turn off, and all outside noise and human contact cease to exist. This punishment begins with the criminal
I forgot what it's called. So is that basically solitary confinement?
being dressed in all white before being thrown into a completely soundproof all-white cell. The bed,
That's solitary confinement.
walls, floors, and even the plate and food they receive are all white.
Oh, because everything you see is white. So when it's solitary confinement, you could see different. Like, well, I think they would still give you food that's not white. Oh, okay, I understand.
But it gets even worse. The guards outside the cell wear cushioned shoes to silence their steps, ensuring the prisoner never hears a single sound from the outside world. You
That's sad. That's genuinely sad.
see, the color white wasn't chosen at random. White eliminates contrast, depth, and visual reference points. And since the brain doesn't get any stimulation from the outside world, it begins to create its own, tormenting the prisoner by spawning in vivid hallucination and noises that are not really there. And because the lights never turn off, prisoners lose their sense of time, not knowing whether it's been days, weeks, or even months that have gone by. There have been reports of prisoners remaining in this cell for up to 8 months, with some claiming that even after leaving, they have never been the same since.
8 months? I wouldn't even survive a week. I would literally start crying in like a day.
Number 6, amputation. Amputations are still used in countries like Iran, Yemen, Nigeria, and Saudi Arabia.
So you're saying I would low-key say the white room is worse than amputations. But if you're there to see the amputation, then GG's, it's over for you. But if like they put you into sleep and amputate you, it's low-key number 8. But like if they make you see it, it's low-key a number 7. Because I feel like the white room is worser.
And are typically reserved for thieves. For example, in Saudi Arabia, thieves can still be punished by amputation of the hand, while armed robbers receive a little extra, having their hand and the opposite foot amputated. Now, before you get the wrong idea, these countries do sometimes take it easy on criminals and just amputate the fingers instead, which is exactly what is done in Iran.
That's worser than the hand because you could get like a replacement hand. Then you have to like
In 2025 alone, at least 3 thieves had the fingers on their right hands amputated. The punishment uses a guillotine-style machine, just a lot smaller. Here, prisoners are blindfolded, handcuffed, and restrained.
That's bad. No, I would not want to do that. I would try to fight.
The hand is tied in place with the fingers pointing out. As soon as the sign is given,
The sign makes it like not that serious. But
the lever is released, and the blade slams down on the person's hand, easily removing the criminal's fingers. They are then quickly stitched up if they're lucky, and sent back to their prison cells to walk it off. Number 5. Castration.
walk it off? What do you mean walk it off? They're just gonna be like, okay. They're just gonna be walking around like that.
In countries like South Korea, Poland, and Indonesia,
Poland.
anyone who's convicted of being inappropriate with children can be sentenced to chemical castration. This punishment typically begins after the criminal has served their sentence and right before they are set to be released from prison, where they will receive the first of many injections to drastically lower their testosterone and libido. The more severe the crime, the longer the castration period. Now, being injected so often does carry some side effects, but realistically, nobody cares. But in countries like the Czech Republic, castration is taken even further. High-risk criminals who continue committing heinous crimes can be permanently castrated. From 2000 to
What does that
2016, over 84
Like they just keep on going to you every single week or two.
surgical castrations were carried out. But in recent years, the numbers have plummeted. After heavy international pressure, the law was changed. Today, they still perform permanent castrations, but are now only given to criminals who volunteer. Number 4. An eye for castrations, but are now only given to criminals who volunteer.
Yo, some people are like, me, I want to volunteer. I want to volunteer. Loki, I would Loki not volunteer. I'm trying to know if Jeffrey Epstein was put into that jail, he would volunteer.
Number 4. An eye for an eye. In Iran, the victim or their family can request an equivalent punishment for their attacker. This means they can request a life for a life, an injury for an injury, or in this case, an eye for an eye. The act of blinding someone as a form of punishment has been carried out a few times in recent years, with the most recent 3 cases occurring in 2022. Surprisingly, many of the cases were very similar. A person, for one reason or another, decided to throw acid on someone, causing the innocent person to lose their eyesight. The victim or their family can then legally request the same punishment for the attack.
What? So you're saying if someone blinded me and the person that blinded me, I could just tell them, yo, guess what? You're getting fucking blind. I could just do that?
It all begins with the person being restrained and having their eye or eyes held open. Acid is then dropped into the eyes, permanently blinding them. The
Dude,
drop
I'd be like, I would just go, ah, like that in the chair.
drops are administered
Before
by
they do it.
authorities, but the victim can request to do it themselves. Well,
Okay, if I was the victim, I wouldn't do it.
as long as they can still see. The injury is then verified by authorities, and the attacker is sent back to prison to serve the remainder of their sentence. Number 3. Pushed off a cliff. This is one of the most
They still do that?
disturbing and strangest punishments in the world. In Iran, criminals can still be sentenced to be thrown from
Yo, dinosaurs.
a height. Now, as bad as that sounds, it only gets worse. Here, the criminal is taken to the top of a cliff, then placed inside a sack. The sack is tightly sealed, and both the
That makes it 10 times worser.
sack and the criminal are thrown off the cliff. But here's the twist. In the extremely unlikely event that the man survives the fall, he would then be freed from the sack, only to be hanged instead. A few men in recent years have been sentenced to receive this punishment. 1 man in 2002 and 2 in 2008. The punishment is incredibly rare and is only given to those who commit truly heinous crimes. Even though these 3 men were sentenced by a judge to be thrown off a cliff, I can't 100% confirm they were actually thrown, since Iran ranks amongst the most heavily censored countries in the world, and this information is not easy to come by. Either way, the punishment is incredibly terrifying and not one you would ever want to receive. Number 2. Capital punishment. Now, I could bore you and walk you through all the standard capital punishments that are used around the world, like lethal injection, firing squads, the
Okay, firing squad, electro chair aren't as bad because
electric chair, and hangings.
and hanging just sucks. Cause the thing is, electric chair, immediate death. Wait, no. Electric chair and hanging are the worst. Um, Firing squad isn't. Electrical chairs ass were bad because you are the entire time you're shocked. Hanging is bad because let's say you get dropped. There's a chance that you don't immediately get killed. There's a chance that you survive and then you're stuck there going, ugh.
But instead, I'm going to cover some of the most strange and terrifying variations of these executions that are still used in parts of the world. In Saudi Arabia, criminals who commit murder or drug-related crimes can still be sentenced to be beheaded with a sword. Here, the criminal is kneeling on the floor with their arms tied behind their back. Their head is then leaned forward as the person trembles and waits for the executioner to strike. As soon as the signal is given, the executioner swings with all their might and hopefully removes the head on the first go. Of course, this is all done in front of a crowd,
That's like hanging.
ensuring they get punished with severe PTSD as well. Then there's China, where execution vans deliver lethal injections directly to a person's front door. On arrival, criminals are apprehended and placed inside the van. They are then quickly strapped down and given a lethal cocktail injection. It's estimated that around 8,000 people have been executed in one of these vans, but
Of course it's China.
the real number remains a mystery since the program is covered in secrecy. Then there's hanging executions. Some countries still use the more humane method, the long drop, which instantly breaks the neck and causes unconsciousness. This method obviously requires a math formula to get right. Too short of a fall, the neck remains intact,
That's what I said.
and the person hangs there and slowly chokes. Too long of a fall, and it becomes a beheading,
I don't know. I never thought of that actually.
and a very messy and annoying cleanup. But in countries like Iran, the math problem is simply tossed in the trash, and instead they use a method called the short drop, which is a lot more cruel and vicious. But hey, at least no one
So the choking method.
could ever say they're bad at math. Here, the criminal is rigged to a crane with their arms tied behind their back and is then slowly lifted a few inches off the floor. As the criminal panics and kicks, the rope tightens, and eventually, within minutes, the person passes out and stops moving. Number 1. Stoned to death. Easily the
Don't even make me think about this. If you guys don't know what stoning to death is make sure people that get it's either I don't know how they do it, but it's either people from the public or people from like the officers. They just throw stones straight at your back or straight at you to make sure until you pass out or eventually die.
harshest and most cruel punishment in the world has to be stoning. This punishment has occurred in Nigeria, Somalia, and Iran in recent years, with Iran
Why is Iran always the one that's mentioned, bro?
being the only country where stoning still exists in law as a punishment for adultery. The most recent uses of this punishment actually came from angry mobs in Nigeria in 2020 and 2022, and before that, a militia group in Somalia in 2014 and 2018. I'll quickly cover these before I move on to Iran. In both cases in Somalia, a judge within the area's militia group sentenced the women to be stoned to death for adultery. The women were buried up to their shoulders, with only their heads exposed, and
Okay, that's not how I thought about it. I'm pretty sure in the movies they stand up with their backs turned, like their backs are like this, and then people just start whipping stones at their faces.
then stoned to death by the militia group. All of this was done in front of the townspeople. The Nigeria incidents were very similar to one another as well. In 2020, a man accused of blasphemy was chased and stoned to death at a fish and vegetable market. But wait, it gets even darker. It's reported that even the local children picked up stones and took part in the
Children.
execution. Then a few years later, in 2022, a woman was attacked by a mob and stoned to death at a college for the same reason. But let's talk about Iran since they officially have stoning as a form of punishment. From 1980 to 2009, there were roughly 150 people, mostly women, convicted of adultery who were condemned to stoning, with the latest sentences taking place in 2017 and 2022. The punishment begins with the woman being buried up to her chest, or the waist if it's a man. Officials then gather around the person with stones in hand, and as soon as the signal is given, they begin to throw them. But here's the catch. If the person manages to escape from the hole, and only if they had confessed to adultery, they could earn their freedom. In the second scenario, if the person manages to escape but were caught committing adultery, they are placed back in the hole for round 2. As someone who's extremely
Round 2!
competitive. Yeah.
What? Round 2! But no, I'm sprinting out of there. I'm like, out of there, bro. I'm like, you guys know that one little Einstein, well, almost every little Einstein episode, they're like, oh, we need help. Make sure to start doing this, bro. I'm full blast running out of that place, bro. There's no shot I'm going for round 2, bro. Even if I get stoned to death while running, even if I get my dick cut off by the stone, I'm still sprinting for my freedom. Anyway, guys, that's it. Make sure to like and subscribe for more videos. Because if you guys don't like my videos, what's the point of subscribing? Make sure to like and subscribe. Like I said like 5 seconds ago. I don't know why I'm repeating myself. But peace.
I'm beginning to think that
Oh, wait, the video's not over. But still, peace out.